Greg Ehrenberg here with Adam Scherer. It is another edition of the NBA Injury Report, start of a new week. Do us a favor, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We've got a decent-sized slate tonight. Really my favorite kind of where it's not like too many games, but not too little either. Really that sweet spot in between. Anything from like 5 to 8 games. That's really what I find to be the best-sized NBA slates. And also, we have some injury news, but not too much. Who knows? Maybe that changes. If anything does pop up in the injury report later in the day, leave a comment below, ask a question. I'll be answering those questions later on in the day. But starting with what we do know, we've got the Cleveland Cavaliers, Karis LeVert, Rajon Rondo, and Darius Garland all remain out. Now, Brandon Goodwin played okay relative to his salary the last time out. He's become a little bit more expensive now. Adam, are you still looking to get back to Goodwin here?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the salary's gone up a little bit, but I just still expect him to play a ton of minutes. He's in the games he has started this year. His rates do go down a little bit, but still has a 30% assist percentage, 17% usage rate. He's around a 0.9 fantasy point per minute guy, and I just expect him to play 34 plus minutes again. So, with the salary rising, obviously there's more risk, there's more alternatives, and the point guard position tonight is extremely deep as well. But I still think he looks like one of the better point per dollar values.
38 minutes last game. The shots were there. The peripheral stuff, he just didn't make any of his shots.
Right.
And, to be honest, it's not like 24 fantasy points was that terrible. It wasn't maybe what we expected, but I actually think there's more good to come away from that than bad because he's not going to miss almost all of the shots again tonight. So I think the minutes are replicable. The usage rate is replicable. Just make some more of the shots this time and he'll be fine. Next situation you're talking about, Kyle Lowry out for the Miami Heat once again. We saw him miss pretty much all of January. Now he's going to be out again. The rest of the Miami Heat are currently healthy, and actually Victor Oladipo nearing a return sometime in the next couple of weeks. But with Lowry out of the mix, how does this impact the other guys like Hero, Butler, and Adebayo?
Yeah, it opens up a lot here for Miami, I think. Also a pretty nice matchup for them. But Jimmy Butler, his assist percentage without Lowry on the floor this year is about 32%. In the games he's played without Lowry, it's 38%. So I expect a nice assist bump for Butler. I think you see more playing time for Tyler Hero, who's averaged about 34 minutes per game in the games without Lowry. Gabe Vincent, I'm expecting to start and play 32 plus minutes. I think right now he looks like the best, cheap value option on the slate, assuming he's in the starting lineup. So all three of those guys look better. And then you kind of get into some deeper secondary options. Duncan Robinson could play more. He's cheap. Caleb Martin, if he's available, could play a lot here. If he's not available, Max Strus probably picks up a lot of the slack. So I think the priorities end up being, Vincent, Hero, and Butler. But if you're playing a lot of lineups, you can start to move a little bit further down the line as well.
The NBA Injury Report is sponsored by Yahoo Daily Fantasy Sports. If you guys have not signed up for Yahoo, you could do it using the link in the description box below. And if you head on over to Yahoo, make a deposit, enter a contest, you'll get yourself 1 free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum, get access to all of the tools you need to build winning NBA DFS lineups. Now, moving on to the Toronto Raptors, and not this means all that much, but TJ Wilson just signed a third 10-day contract with the team, which maybe is an indication they're expecting to be shorthanded once again tonight. We know OG Anunoby is out, but Fred VanVleet, who's been battling knee soreness for, the last 6 weeks now or something like that, probably because Nick Nurse plays him 42 minutes every night, probably not ideal for joint health. But with Fred VanVleet questionable, if he is unable to play, Adam, who stands out from the Raptors? This team is starting to look a little fatigued.
Yeah, if VanVleet's out, we actually get something different to talk about here, because typically with Toronto, it's just like, oh, well, if one of the starters is out, we know what they're going to do because it's the same thing regardless of which guy it is. But with OG already out, you would see something different. I don't know if Flynn starts, if Banton starts, if Svi Mikhailuk starts, but you would probably get, or you would have to get like a little bit different rotation. So I think that whoever's in the starting lineup from a value standpoint starts to look good, but I think you would see more run for Banton. I think that you see increased usage for Gary Trent. That's been a big thing for him this year. When VanVleet's out, Trent gets more usage. Pascal Siakam's assist percentage would increase as well.
All right, now let's hit on the final team of the slate, the team that is ruining many of my best ball teams, the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are holding out basically everybody down the stretch of the season. SGA missed an extended period of time. He's back in the mix, but Mike Muscala, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, Lou Dort, Ty Jerome, Josh Giddey, Kenrich Williams, all out. Obviously, the two most impactful ones here. Josh Giddey, who's played a massive role for the team, as has Lou Dort. What stands out to you from OKC now? Because this is a really good spot for them against the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, the main thing that stands out is that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander just becomes essentially the entire offense. 35% usage rate and a 35% assist percentage without Josh Giddey on the floor this year. The assist percentage goes up as you would expect, since he has the ball in his hands more, but you also have just seen him be more aggressive in those situations this year than he was, say, last year, before Giddey got there. SGA has just been much more willing to just take over and do it all himself. So it makes him look a lot better. And then you just get minutes opening up. Trey Mann plays a lot of minutes. He's not super productive with SGA on the floor, but with all of these other guys out, there's the potential for him to still pay off a $5,400 price tag. Guys like Wiggins, Pokusevski, you can't be confident in them because, Wiggins, you can be relatively confident in the minutes, but he sucks from a fantasy standpoint. Pokusevski's the opposite, where he's not a bad fantasy producer, but the minutes are up and down. And then, the starting lineup, if Roby starts, he looks like a pretty good value. If Derek Favors returns to the starting lineup, then it makes Roby a lot riskier. So I pretty much think it's SGA as the priority, and then just sort of mixing and matching, throwing some darts at the other Oklahoma City pieces.
22 starts for Aaron Wiggins this year, averaging a cool 18.7 DraftKings points. Has not been the best fantasy producer, and there's been slates where I feel like we've kind of been cornered to roster him because of a lack of value. For today, it looks like we can get a bunch of value plays on the slate. We're not going to be forced to roster this crappy 0.6 fantasy point per minute guy. So
yeah, he's like one of the worst. He's one of the type of plays that I hate the most, because it's like on most slates you don't need to get there, it's unnecessary. But the times that you do end up going there, he's like 20% owned because you're going there out of necessity.
Yeah, which looks like it's not going to be the case today. Like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. If any other players get ruled out, added to the injury report, anything like that, leave us a question below. I'll be answering those later on in the day. Hope you guys had a good weekend.